Hello everyone, we are officially counting down to the 13th edition of the annual Inspiring Change Conference. It is happening on Saturday, March 7th, 2026 by 9 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. Come ready to rebuild, come ready to rise. We have speakers like Dr. Clement OLADIPUPO, we have Mrs. Olujumoke Showale, Pastor David Adeoye, myself, Moji.
Good evening, everyone. Let me know where you're connected from. Good evening. Good evening. I'm so excited to welcome you to this special pre-conference conversation. This is the conversation we're having ahead of the Inspiring Change Conference that is happening on Saturday at the Wisdom Arena. For those who may be joining us for the very first time, the Inspiring Change Conference is more than an event. If you have ever attended the Inspiring Change Conference, please drop a comment. Let me know what your expectations are for this 13th edition. Yes, the Inspiring Change Conference is a movement. That's how I love to call it. It's a movement, it's a gathering of women and the men who love to also who love to succeed, because I say that success is not gender specific. So if you're a man and you're wondering, what should I be doing in a woman's event? Success is not gender specific. If you're a man who would like to identify with what we're doing, you are also very welcome. So it's a gathering of women who are ready to grow, women who are ready to build, women who are ready to rise, women who are ready to walk boldly in purpose. So every year what we do is we come together to ignite something powerful in the hearts of women. We come to fire ourselves up, and this year is no different. That is why our theme this year is Refire to Advance. And that word refire is very, very intentional. I want you to type the word refire. If you're connected, let me know. Yes, I see Folake Miyemiolani from Lagos. Thank you for connecting. Type refire in the chat box. Let me be sure that you are connected, because sometimes in life and business, the fire that once burned so brightly can grow dim. The passion may reduce because of little detours here and there, things you never expect. And sometimes clarity may fade, courage may just be weak. The courage that you used to start that burning fire that you started with, sometimes it can be weak. But the good news is fire can be reignited, and that's what we're doing this weekend. This conference is about the Inspiring Change Conference is about rekindling vision, especially dead dreams and dreams that are about to collapse. We're restoring confidence, we're reigniting purpose, we're also repositioning women and men to advance in life, to advance in business, to advance in leadership, and to advance even in their destiny. And tonight's conversation is like, you know how they say, let's tear your appetite a little bit. So tonight's conversation is a small taste of the iceberg that is coming. And I've had pre-conference conversations like this that people are saying, if this is the pre-conference, so how will the conference look like? So get ready. Think tonight as an appetizer before the feast. We're going to be sharing insights, wisdom, and powerful conversations that will prepare your heart. It will prepare your mind for the transformational the 13th edition, which is this at the Wisdom Arena. I'm so excited tonight. You can even feel it in my voice, because I'm not having this conversation alone. Tonight, I'm joined by someone that I like to call my GCEO. Is someone whose work and insight and leadership continues to impact lives across different spheres. People, tonight I am joined with Dr. OLADIPUPO Clement. Is backstage right here with me. I'm so excited. Tonight is going to be talking about purpose, about growth, about leadership, about the mindsets that is required for women to truly advance in this season. So if you're here with us live, I want you to do three things for me real quickly. I want you to share this broadcast. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, send it to someone on YouTube, share it and share this broadcast. Tag the woman who needs this information, who needs this message. Tag that woman who needs to be in this room tonight, and let us know where you're joining us from. I can see all your comments, because tonight we're here to share, we're here to talk. And if you have questions along the line, please drop it in the chat box. I will be monitoring, and I'll be sharing it and taking your questions alongside Dr. OLADIPUPO Clement. Trust me, you don't want to miss tonight. We're going straight to Reader's Recital, and when we come back, the voice you're going to be hearing will be that of Dr. OLADIPUPO Clement and myself. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Thank you.
OLADIPUPO Clement is a trusted expert in real estate, wealth creation, business growth, and strategy with over 2 decades of experience. Renowned for his insights, he is a sought-after conference speaker and the accomplished author of several books, including his bestsellers, Financial Freedom Master Guide, Finding What Works for You, Rewrite Your Financial Story, and Just Before You Start That Business. It champions the crusade for the economic emancipation of the average African through platforms such as Wealth Creation Summit and Mega Housing Summit. He currently serves as the CEO of LifePage in Nigeria and the USA. He also co-founded other companies within the agriculture, construction, and software development sectors. OLADIPUPO holds an MBA from the prestigious Business School, Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome OLADIPUPO Clement to the 13th Inspiring Change Conference.
You are welcome, sir. I see everyone is typing refire, refire, refire. People are so excited to have you in the room, and I know that tonight God is going to speak through you, and we will truly be refired in Jesus' mighty name. You are very welcome, sir. Okay, if you can hear Doctor, let me know. People are saying you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Yes, our conversation tonight is going to be around the theme that says refire to advance. And I know that you have a word for everyone that is connected tonight. So I'm just going to allow you to just share a word with us real quick. I'll put you on the spotlight, and then
Hello everyone, we are officially counting down to the 13th edition of the annual Inspiring Change Conference. It is happening on Saturday, March 7th, 2026 by 9 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. Come ready to rebuild, come ready to rise. We have speakers like Dr. Clement OLADIPUPO, we have Mrs. Olujumoke Showale, Pastor David Adeoye, myself, Mojisola Ijaola, and of course, Chef T, Diary of a Kitchen Mother. You don't want to miss it for anything. There's so much lined up for you to be blessed, for you to come and rise, come and rebuild, and come and be all that God has destined you to be. One of the key things that I'm looking forward to is having you right here in the room at the Wisdom Arena. So don't miss it for anything. It is absolutely free. Refreshments will be served, but you need to register. Please visit our website, www.inspiringchangeng.org, and come with a +2, come with a +3, come with all your goal-getting friends, because I cannot wait to receive you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us back. We're trying to fix the audio that is distorting, and I hope we're able to fix that real quick so that our conversations tonight will not be affected. Please don't forget to share this stream with all your friends. I can assure you that lives will be stirred, visions will be awakened in the name of Jesus, and destinies will be refired. So please stay with us tonight. You're going to learn quite a number of things. I don't want you to go anywhere. Dr. Clement is here, and I'm sure his audio is already restored. Hello, Dr. Clement.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you clearly, loud. Thank
Fantastic.
God. I don't know what happened before, but I'm so
Fantastic.
glad that we can hear you clearly, sir. Don't
Thank you
forget
so
to
much.
share this broadcast and tag a woman who needs to be in the room. Dr. Clements is here, is audible. Please help me welcome him. Help me welcome him. Help me welcome him. Type Refire, Refire. Let him know how excited you all are. Let him know how excited we are to have him on our pre-conference conversation. Personally, I'm looking forward to tonight's conversation, and I'm so grateful that you are able to make it despite your very tight schedule. I know you have a Refire story, but I just want to leave you to touch on this topic real quick so
Okay.
that our people can learn from you. Thank you, sir.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much once again for the opportunity to share, to rub minds with everyone. And so welcome to this particular pre-conference edition. I have so much in my heart I would love to share. What I would want to leave with you, especially for this pre-conference, would be to understand the dual nature of growth. Every dimension of growth you desire in whatever field, in whatever aspect of life you operate, is both gravitropic in nature and phototropic. And it's usually gravitropic first before it becomes phototropic. So let me give you a metaphor. Every tree that we see today first starts as a seed. So the tree grows downward first before it grows upward. So gravitropic means away from light, while phototropic means toward light. And so sometimes before you're showing, before you become revealed, sometimes you need to be hidden. And sometimes being hidden is not punishment, it is protection, it is security, right? It is it's for your own well-being, right? It's for your stability and sustainability. You know, I like to humorously refer to this part in some Bible characters like Jesus. Jesus was hidden for 30 years before he was shown to his world. Little wonder his impact, his relevance, and relevance is still, still known and still being felt today, more than 2,000 years after. The man called David in the scripture, was also hidden. He didn't become a king until he was 30. He was anointed king when he was still a teenager, but never ascended the throne until he was 30, became king of Judah, and then 7 years down the line, he became king of Israel. The point I'm trying to make is, before your showing is the season of hiding. And that's why it is often said that if you appear before your time, you will disappear. So some people appear too early, and that's why they fizzle out, they disappear, they go into oblivion. So you want to take the time to analyze growth. And this is how you will consistently be grateful for the phase of life. I'm currently sharing in our church branch, on the law of seed time and harvest. How that don't envy the harvest for which seed you are not willing to plant. All right. Every time you see a harvest, there is a seed that was planted. And the beautiful thing about harvest is the fact that you control your harvest by the seed you are planting. All right. You control your harvest by the seed you are planting. So sometimes God also plants us, not necessarily bury us, but because He's trying to prepare us, equip us, refine us for the future. And so during the conference, I'll be sharing essentially on growth by design. I'll be sharing with us on the various concepts around growth, especially within business. By the grace of God, I've had my stint in business and entrepreneurship for well over 20 years. Even my work experience in the investment banking firm where I worked was also as an entrepreneurial employee. In other words, I was responsible for the profit of my division. And so that was also an experience that prepared me the most for the world of entrepreneurship. And we started out our first business, without a dime. All we had was ourselves. And it was a very humbling beginning, or humble beginning. And the process is part of why we are where we are. And of course, we continue to grow the roots and continue to grow deep, and all of that. So I do not know the extent to which I should go, whether I should keep diving deeper, into my notes, but I've got lots and lots of things I would love to share. But when it comes to
dive
business,
deep into your notes. So we want you to dive deep into your notes. Please go ahead.
How many minutes do I have now?
We have 1 hour for this conversation.
Okay.
45 minutes for you to share, and then 15 minutes for us to take questions.
Interesting.
So usually that question time can now spread above our 1 hour, but then we have enough time. Yes, please feel free.
Okay, then. I was trying to assume that because pre-conference, I have to conserve some for tomorrow. Anyway, that's fine. That's great. All right. So the time of our showing is always preceded by the time of hiding. And that's why if you try to light, you get a matchstick and you want to lighten a candle, the moment that you strike the match, what immediately comes out, you want to cover it to protect the wind against the same wind that can snuff out that light is the same wind that would spread it. All right, it's the same wind that will spread it, and that's why there's a season to block it, to protect it. There's a season to cover it. There's also a season. So sometimes your season of growth does not need to be visible to the world. And that is where we often have challenge as human beings. That's when we are fraught also with a lot of envy, jealousy. Listen to me carefully. Other people's showing does not limit your own, your own season of showing too. Let me be honest with you. My mentor would say that a pregnant woman does not envy a nursing mother. All right? And it's the truth. You are sure that you are carrying a baby as well. All right? And yours also will come. And other people's progress will not hinder yours. Right? So if you don't understand the psychology and you understand the process of growth, that some part of the growth, significant part of your growth is invisible, is intangible. And before everybody starts to see the tree and celebrate the forest and harvest, right, there's a lot of sacrifice. And that's why Jesus said in John 12:24, said, except the corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it falls down and dies, then it bears much fruit. So sometimes the fruit, the growth we love to see, is often buried in oblivion, buried in hiding. And that is where the real growth really takes place. So when you are, away from light. And that's pretty much, and it's also to encourage us to enjoy those seasons of our lives. Let me say a few things here. I want you to be aware of overnight success. In this age of AI, in this age of Internet of Things, robotics, animations, and what have you, it's like we want everything in quick succession. We need it now. We need it, and we need it now. But you must be aware of overnight success. You must be aware of overnight success. It doesn't last. If you've ever noticed, for those of you who are Christians, you would agree with me that there are ministers of the gospel today that we see all over the world that have gone, quote and unquote, viral, right? 20 years ago, you didn't know about them. 15 years ago, we didn't know about them. 10 years ago, we didn't know about them. But they were in hiding, all right? And guess what? The next major ones, we have not yet heard about them. They are in hiding. You may just be among some of them, right? And what do you do in such a season when you are in hiding? The number one is to make sure that you are developing capacity, developing skills, exposing yourself to insight that will shape your mindset, because mindset plays a critical role. And the other part is you want to gain emotional stability. I see a lot of envy, I see a lot of, jealousy that play out again and again from time to time. And sometimes people want the type of result other people have, but they don't want that sacrifice. They don't want just the price they're paying. And because I also have interactions with a lot of great people, I know that there's a lot of price that's being paid. So beware of overnight success. Your season of trials, temptations, and hiding are often preparation season for your showing, right? And I will tell you this, as someone who has suffered setbacks, I know the color and taste of poverty. I often say it humorously, I cannot be intimidated by somebody else's poverty. I've tasted it all. I know the color. Don't just ask me what color it is, right? But I also recognize that everybody wants to associate when you are visible. And that's not when you make your best of friends. Your best of friends, your best of relationships are made in the furnace of life, right? In your moment of adversity, it will reveal three kinds of people. And this is so important because we're talking about growth here. It has to die. You have to lose yourself. You have to lose selfishness, self-centeredness. All emotional immaturity has to die. The old has to give way for the new. All of that has to die. And that's part of the process. That's what goes on when the seed dies, right? So, but three types of people are revealed in your season of adversity, in your season of crisis, in your season of challenge. Because when it is not a question of whether, it's not a question of if it will come. It's a question of when it will come. And I know this from experience. It will come, right? We are either in trouble or about to enter trouble. Or you are coming out of trouble. You are either in trouble, entering into trouble, or coming out of trouble. That's life. Now, I know for faith-based individuals, you say, oh, God forbid. No, God forbid, but life permits. The reality is this. You must understand that when it comes, it's part of the preparation. Every crisis is a preparation for the next. All right? It's the next phase of your life. If you don't pass this test, you don't move on to the next class, right? So, and that's pretty much the way it works. But there are three categories of people that will be revealed in a moment of adversity, in a moment of crisis. Number one is you. It will reveal you. Crisis will reveal you. Challenges will reveal you. It will reveal your capacity. It will reveal your mindset. It will reveal. Scripture says that if you fail or if you faint in the day of adversity, it is proof that your strength is small. So adversity comes to test your capacity, to test your strength, to test test your stability. Okay, you will cry, and that's okay. It's therapeutic. All right, and cry by all means. Cry. Don't hide it. Even as a man, don't hide it. Cry. All right. I've been through, certain situations in my life that I never imagined such a thing happened to me ever, and I lost my sleep. I lost my comportment. I lost appetite, lost sleep, and lost appetite. And that's why sometimes be careful who you envy, or be careful what you envy. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful. Behind every glory, there's a story. Behind every prize, there's a price to pay. All right. And so during that period, it revealed me at a level I never thought, I never imagined. Again, sometimes it is possible there are things that are easier taught than caught. There are things that are easier imagined than experienced. And sometimes you may have even taught it, teach it, share with other people, inspire other people until you are in the midst of it. And you remember Jesus saying to Peter, he said, Satan has desired to sift you as wheat, but I've prayed for you. He said, when you are converted, encourage the brethren, develop the brethren. Essentially, there are things you will never find in any book. It is through some experiences that you will find them. There are certain insights you will never find. I can guarantee you on this under God that you will never find except in seasons of crisis. So it will reveal you, to reveal your capacity, to reveal your strength, to reveal your weaknesses. It will reveal your beliefs, the beliefs you have held on to. Somebody once asked me, what's the meaning, what's the definition of belief? And the best way I can define beliefs is the story you have told yourself and again and again. The stories others have also told you again and again and again. Those are the things that informs or defines your belief or belief system. And that's what runs your life. And when crisis comes, when challenges come, in the seasons of growth comes the weight of life. Right? Have you noticed that the weight of seed and the weight of harvest are not the same? They're not the same. So when you are carrying a seed in your heart, it's easier to put it in a nylon. But when it is time, when you plant that seed and it is time to harvest it, the weight, you will need help from other people. So that's why it will come with a lot of pressure. So growth comes with pressure. And that's why you need to be hidden, preparing, gathering strength, building capacity, building network, building relationships, nurturing leaders and growing leaders. All right. So part of the things I'm going to share tomorrow on Saturday would be to share what are the things you should do, what type of system should you be putting in place, both in during your seasons of invisibility, the seasons when you are not growing visibly, during the seasons when nobody knows you. What should you be doing? Those are the things I'm going to be touching on. So the second type of people that will be revealed during your moment of crisis will be your friends. You don't know your friends until you are in crisis. You don't. Whether you test them or not, life will test them. Just as much as life will test you, it will test who your real friends are. All right. So everybody is not your friend until you go through crisis. Okay. And it's very important. And crisis will vary from person to person. Right. Yeah. So that's the second
Clement,
category.
this one
Yes.
that you just dropped. Everybody is not your friend until you are in crisis. You don't know. You don't know your friends until you are in crisis. So you see that one that you touched on. That's a major one.
Absolutely.
Many people feel success, they say, has many relatives. And people you can only know your true friends, honestly, when you are in crisis. That's when the people who are not even meant to stay, that's when they fade off. And I know that you can relate with this on a personal level.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how deep we can go, but I've seen you navigate such season with so much grace. I've seen you, stand in the face of so much. You stood courageously, you stood in integrity, you stood as a leader, you didn't chicken out. And honestly, I celebrate your courage. I celebrate your integrity as a person. I celebrate your integrity as a brand and as a company.
Thank you, ma'am.
This one you touched. Until you are in crisis in total, you can't really know who your friends are. I just
Mm.
needed to reiterate that. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And this is the reason why leaders, great men are not known. Generals are not known by their stars. They are known by their scars. Don't show me your stars. Don't show me your your awards, your trophies. Show me your scars, and I can tell. I have great respect for people who have, who have survived and thrived in seasons of crisis. Unfortunately, we are only looking for people who are successful to learn from. But behind every success story is a gory story that are often not shared. And usually people don't tell their gory story until they blow, until they come to limelight. Everybody wants to associate with those who are successful. So you will really not know your friends until times of crisis. So it will reveal you, it will reveal your friends. And finally, it will reveal your enemies and your frenemies. And let me quickly define who your enemies are and who your frenemies are. Now, it looks like tautology, but an enemy is someone that is not hypocritical about not liking you, not wanting to see you succeed. They are upfront with that. They are not hypocritical at all. They are upfront in their stand as to, I hate you. They tell you, or they demonstrate it. The frenemies are different, all right? So an enemy is like a snake whose venom is ahead, is in front of them. But a frenemy is like scorpion. Their venom is behind them. All right. So they come close enough to you, all right, to have enough information about you with which they can harm you or hurt you. So they know your whereabouts. That's why some of the biggest crises that you can ever have does not happen from outside in. It happens from inside out. Okay. So, and that's why it is so important you recognize that. So sometimes the place where God is taking you to, the harvest God has for you for the future, there are people in your present, right, who are not fit for purpose in that future. So God introduced certain types of crises to, sift them out. And so sometimes we even mourn those exits, and we cringe, we cry, we wail, you suffer betrayals and all sorts of things. But it's a revelation. So when you understand how growth happens, that a significant part of those growths happen invisibly, then you will enjoy the process. All right. So what people would call courage and all of that is fear that says it's prayer. It is fear that understands that it will not last, it will pass. Okay. And that's pretty much, part of the things that we will be looking at tomorrow. So more specifically, let me now go deeper into, now you're building a business. You probably have very limited cash. And for most people, we have very limited cash, right? Or you have no capital at all. When we started our business, we had no dime to our name. We had no customer. So the only thing we had was ready to give it everything. Those days, we say to ourselves, we either win or we win. Failure was not an option. All right. And so everything that could kill a seed had approached us, attacked us in the course of our journey, both as individuals and even as a group, as a company. And be prepared for that. That's why when you meet with someone who is successful, stop asking, how did they buy the car? How did they acquire this property? How did they own this thing? How come they were able to travel all over the world? Ask them, what would you do differently if you were to start again? Ask them, what price have they paid? Don't ask harvest questions, ask seed questions. Okay? This is so important, it's so critical. And so don't attempt to look like your mentor, your role model or whatever. Find out the price they are paying behind the scene. because there's a lot that goes on behind the scene that most people are not aware of. All right. And I need to say this also, because especially when I talk about these different categories of people, right? There are three concentric circles, and it is important that as you begin to build, you build relationships in these three formats. And you have to be very deliberate, more particularly about those who are in your inner circle, right? So the three concentric circle, I'll use the typology of the temple. So you have the outer court, you have the holy place, and you have the most holy place. The outer court is where your fans are supposed to be. Fans, all your social media followers. That's where they are. All right. All the tail bearers and all of that. That's where they are. So you may have 1 million following. Doesn't mean that they're, in fact, by the design of the concentric circles, you can't accommodate. The deeper you go, the more intimate, the closer they get to you, the fewer they should become. So the number of people in your outer court are actually supposed to be smaller than the people who are supposed to be in your holy place. And then usually the people in your holy place are people who are mutually beneficial. You give and you take and give, or give and take. All right. So essentially they are there for what they benefit, and you also there because of what you benefit. So it's important to categorize all your relationships in this manner. And at the third level, which is the most holy place, are people who they are not just there for what, in fact, they are not there for what they will take. They are there with you in good and in bad times. And listen to me carefully. There are usually very, very few. Many of us may not have as many. If you have 3, if you have 4 in that inner circle, you have all men most blessed. These are people who they will hold you accountable. They will hold you based on godly standards. They will rebuke you when necessary. But you know that this one is coming from genuine heart. They are not the people that you have issues with, and then the social media that they will be settling scores. Those are not your inner circle people. And it is important because part of the reasons why crisis times reveal those type of people is so that you don't put people who are supposed to be in the outer court and put them inside your most holy place. And we often get betrayed because we bring close to us people who should actually be far from us. But it's crisis, challenges, adversity that will reveal all that to us. And this is so important in a season of growth. All right. So when you are building something, you will be drinking gari, you will sleep less. There's a lot of, you burn midnight candles, you will read, you will try things that you taught others, but it will not work for you. All right. The thing you will be teaching other people, it will work for them, it won't work for you. It's your growth season. You are in a season of hiding. It's not a season to mourn, it's actually a season to celebrate. A season to nurture, right? A season to continue to plant. And so you sow seeds, for the type of harvest you also love to reap. All right. One thing again I know about challenges, and I can tell you right now, is that pressure and challenges come to build your resilience. It comes to build your stamina, emotional stamina, mental stamina, spiritual capacity is also built during that period. Listen, you never go through problem if you are not praying. You are really under spiritual attack if you are not praying. I know that you are truly under a spiritual attack when you are not praying. The real evidence that you are under a spiritual attack is that you will lose your steam for prayer. All right. But when you start going through trials and tribulations, on every corner, you start to pray, you fast. No, but you will measure the fast. One with you will measure, you fast. All right. You will pray.
Oh God, you had me there. Oh my God, it is laughable now, but you see, in that season of pressure, it can be tough. One can feel like the only one in this world. Can't they see that I need help? And it will look as if, God, are you not hearing me? I know that there is someone on this call who is going through such season now. That person, your peradventure, You have mixed all the circle that Dr. Clement just told us about. You have mixed the outer court with your holy place and the most holy place, and you are feeling betrayed right now because they left you, and they are
Mm.
supposed to leave you because they are not
Yeah.
part of your most holy place. And it
True.
is the lessons that you are learning now that will help you when you eventually get the harvest that you are desiring, because now
Absolutely.
you know better. So this
Absolutely.
season can be very tough. However,
Mm.
it's a learning curve. It's the
Absolutely.
season where you remove the shaft from the real harvest, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
please
ma'am.
be encouraged. Be encouraged.
Mm.
Dr. Ladipupo, I want to ask you a few questions
Okay,
before
ma'am.
we take questions from our online audience. We know how people run away, especially
Mm.
when they're faced with issues in their businesses.
Yeah.
Some are faced with issues of debt, some
Yeah.
are faced with issues of overpromising customers and not being able to deliver.
Yeah.
How were you able to manage some of these crises that you have faced, and how were you able to manage your customers?
Mm.
Because there's someone on this call who needs that, who needs that lesson,
Mm.
because it's one thing to share how you are able to navigate it, and it's
Mm.
another thing to just tell them to navigate it. Please
Mm.
share, because I
Okay,
just
ma'am.
feel someone may draw strength from that. Thank you.
First and foremost, there was a resolution that pay, we will pay. We are going nowhere. We are here for a long haul. So that was our value system. But it takes a lot of courage to communicate, to buy time from people that you have obligations to. It takes a lot of courage. You are not sure whether you are going to get a yes or you're going to get a no. But even when you say you still communicate it, which you have to, right? Um, you will meet with some resistance. And the onus is on you to make sure that you document it. And part of the things that we did in our case was we wrote, I mean, it took time before we eventually decided. I mean, when I realized how things were at the time, again, we have always been an extremely shrewd company, and we still are, which is also part of the advantages we had. We don't look like what we own, right? But when that challenge came, I was over fixated on the problem than on the solution. And that was also whatever it is you focus on is what magnifies. So I was over fixated on the problem. Again, most people who know me know that I would rather lose money than lose my name. And so because of that, the effect it had on me was not because of loss of money, because the assets and the project, everything was there. It was just the over fixation on the problem that literally paralyzed my emotions, literally paralyzed me mentally. And that so much so that I lost my sleep. So how did we deal with it? One day we were in the board meeting. Mrs. Sunmbo, you were in that meeting too. And then one of the board members just said, "Are you not the one that normally says you focus on solution on the problem?" That was when it occurred. It hit me differently that I come to think of it too. You don't solve a problem by focusing on the problem. You solve a problem by focusing on the solution. All right. And the seed, listen, let me say this here. This is so important. No matter how bad things get, God is too faithful. He will always create a means of escape, even in that same problem. And within that same problem is the solution to the problem. Within that same problem is the solution to the problem. I can tell you with benefit of hindsight now. Right within the problem is the seed to solve or the solution to the problem. And right after that particular board meeting, I would never forget. Immediately, I asked our team, our CFO, pull out our balance sheet. Let's see what do we own, what do we owe. My people, when I saw what we owned against what we owed, it was as though I was unaware of what we owned all along. It brought a lot of respite, brought a lot of comfort, brought a lot of confidence. And then, of course, we wrote all the people that we owed the few people that we hold, and we wrote them and say, see, give us XYZ time. All right. And rather than put in energy into the people we owed, we focused the energy on how we're going to pay them. Okay, I wrote here that focus on solution and not the problem. Focus on what is working and not what is not working. We tested many things within those period, attempted many things that never worked. And then we keep tweaking, we keep adjusting, keep shifting, keep adjusting, keep making, innovating and all of that. Focus on what we serve people and you will never struggle. And that's pretty much what we did. We shifted our gaze from the problem to what the solution would be. And the solution was turn those assets into cash. I mean, it was actually what was taking time to convert. So turn them into cash. Oh yeah, offload. And we were ready to do that. And we did that, en masse. We were ready to give it up at a ridiculous amount just so that we can fulfill the obligations that was staring us in the face. And it revealed a new dimension of us at another level. And that's also now become a template. The things we learned during that period, we would never have learned it by any other means. The revelation and the insight and the wisdom that we now have would never have come by any other means other than by that experience. And so I don't know if I answered that question, ma'am.
You really did. And I honestly celebrate you, sir, for that answer. That's quite courageous. A lot of people spend time, getting anxious over their reputation rather than fixing it by looking for a way out.
Absolutely.
I know that post-COVID, a lot of businesses have not been able, they're still struggling. What advice do you have for someone who is trying their best? Take, for example, a lady takes the delivery, people's deliveries and helps them to, what do they call those people now? Logistics business. Okay. So she delivers goods to people in Canada, in the US, in America, and our depot is also, our warehouse is also in the UK. So recently, the warehouse caught fire.
Wow.
And they were warned not to, they said they should all vacate the building. The fire had not taken over the whole complex, but the UK authorities said vacate the premises. She watched everything, including people's goods, get burnt. Now, people already have the cost of their goods inside the thing, the estimated cost of things they are shipping. They already wrote it. And so she was obliged to pay them back. However, even though she had insurance, the UK government did not pay her the exact value of everything she had in the warehouse. People advised her that she should do a GoFundMe in order to return people's money. The money she got from the government several weeks after, she was able to give people in bits, in order of priority. Maybe your own goods, £2,000, or yours is £500, in order for them to just pay a little bit. Do you know that people were calling her out, insulting her? People forgot the fact that she also lost a lot. My question now is, in such instance, because in all fairness, people, we say that the customer is king, the customer is right. A business owner is breaking their, losing their sleep, cutting their neck, trying to fix things, and some customers are not even empathic. How were you able to handle those customers that were not empathic? How did you solve them? Was it prayer? Was it strategic management? What exactly did you have to do some extra customer service, or what worked, and how should someone navigate that? Thank you.
All right, ma'am. So I think the best way I can answer this, and I really wish I have a strategic answer, but our case till date, to me, is still divine on many levels. And I believe it's also a harvest. Yes, did we have people who were obnoxious, who were sarcastic and said all sorts of things? The type of things I've never heard since I was born, I heard it during those period, right? And again, we cannot blame people because sometimes people also have been defrauded, have been scammed, and then at the slightest sign of things that look like it, get agitated. So the onus is on the company to communicate. Communicate, by all means, communicate. Because every time you find a conflict, two things are involved. One is no communication or poor communication. Those two things always result in conflict. Always result in conflict. So you want to have a desk that engages with people. That's very important. But I can tell you for free that even as a company, in spite of being honest and sincere and all of those things, there were still some people who said, but yeah, where's my something? Just give me my, they don't give a hoot. But what people don't also know is this: empathy is often born, even as a leader. I became more empathetic in leadership because of crisis. The way I address people, you will never find before that season and after till eternity, you will never find where I will criticize anybody on social media. It will never happen. It has never happened. It will never happen. Because it's also a seed that you are sowing. Listen, whether you know it or not, you will face your own crisis, and you will want people to come through for you. So beware what you do to them in their season of crisis. Let it be clear that we are not talking about people who are trying to scam people or cheat people. But when you can see integrity, you can, during those periods, we told people, see, we don't have in fact, what we owned was like almost 7 times what we owed. And we said, okay, come and just take anything. At that point in my life, I was prepared to give it all up and start afresh. Some people accepted the offers. Some people said no. So what we eventually did, and what I would have suggested, for somebody to do with benefit of hindsight now, would be communicate. That was one of the things we did. Communicate. Buy time from people, right? Buy time from your customers. Spread payments. Develop a payment plan. Okay, it can be as long as possible. What matters is that you keep to it. Okay, and then focus on what will pay the people, not discussing the problem with the people. Because at a point, I was trying to, and I'll be honest with you here, I was trying to secure pity party. So I was explaining my pain, but the more I explained it, the less they understood. It was even creating more fears. So I told myself, I said, you don't do. Beware also of the things you say in the moment of crisis. Beware of negative in seasons of crisis. It perpetuates your problems even a lot more. And so those were some of the things I learned, and many more. I have a book that is in the pipeline, and I'm documenting all my experiences during that season and documenting it there. I give an example. We had a development we did.
It's worth reading.
Yeah, we will release the book soon, maybe this year or next year. We had a development somewhere in Ogba Ikeja a few years ago, and that particular development taught me, revealed people to me at a level I never understood. In fact, that project was the genesis of other problems. Was the genesis of the other problems that befell us. And in that particular instance, I recall that we built this place and we sold it ridiculously, and then got a few off-takers, I think about 4 or 5 of them. And we had set a timeline that was quite unrealistic, because that was the first major type of project we were doing. So when we set that goal, it was very unrealistic because of our inexperience. And so because of that, we went all out to collect, get short-term funds to finance a long-term project. And the mistake we made during that period was that we would have bought time from the very few that bought into that project, right? And not rush and not raise expensive capital, right? There are capital that will kill your business. Beware of them. All right. And so those are some of the things that happened within that season. And I remembered very vividly on one of such occasions. Then again, during that project, within the first 4 to 6 months, the prices of building materials skyrocketed astronomically, beyond our control. And so if you had maybe 400 million you wanted to use to buy maybe 4 different items, building materials, you had to concentrate it on just 2 because the prices of those 2 now was the price of buying those 4 initially. So that also slowed us down in the pace at which we were going to deliver the project. So I got to the site that particular Saturday evening and ran into one of the earlier subscribers of the project. He called me by name, so apparently he knew me, but even though I didn't know him. And then he said, Mr. Clement, when are you people delivering this project? Now, this was a project that was already roofed. It was just finishing that was going on, right? And it was going on. There was no single day. Every single day, every single week, we were spending ₦500,000 every week as site expenses. I'm not talking of other expenses. I can go into too many stories, but those stories will be documented. What happened? This man met me and said, this project, when are we going to do it? And I explained to him, honestly, like I've always been, I'm a very transparent person. There's nothing to cover. You can go and verify. So I told him, I said, you should not be upset though, that whatever we have to do, we will do. Delivering, don't worry, we will deliver. But these are the realities of the times. And bag of cement at the time when we started the project was captured at 2,550 per bag. As of the time I was speaking with him, a bag of cement was 3,600. Now I know you know that it is no longer the same now. Bag of POP cement had moved from 4,200 to 8,600 within that period, that short period. And that's just one, just a few of the building material item. Guess what this man said to me? He said, I am very correct that cement is his own business. POP is actually the business of his wife. So he acknowledged that it was true. But guess what he said afterwards? So, but when are you people still going to deliver? It meant that I know you have trouble, but deliver to me.
But I don't care. Just go get it. Hey.
So these are the reasons why sometimes people hide. That's why sometimes people run, because they know people can be very unreasonable. So I was not in control of the prices. And then there were no agreements that also protected us, that protected us against fluctuations in prices and all of that. But, in retrospect, I'm grateful to God that those things happened, because
yes,
it also made us to slow down even in most of the project's execution, because we felt that if we collect money from people now, we will be caught up, we'll be stuck. And I have friends in the industry who have 2,000 units, 2,500 units people are subscribed for. They've not delivered up to 200. They are now under pressure to refund money. And some of them are refunding money. And some clients are still insisting that, no, I paid you money for house. I don't want my money back. And there are people who are insisting that. So,
Dr. Clement, you would not believe that we have had this conversation for 1 hour. We are already on 1 hour. Listen, people, you see, anytime we have these conversations, I tell you that people become vulnerable and they tell you the behind the scene. These are not things that anybody will set the camera to start explaining. These are real life, real stories, real issues that we come up maybe sometimes because you are not even aware of what tomorrow will bring. They can wake up tomorrow and there's a new policy that can affect your own plans, your strategy, and it will look as if everything is not working. If you have any questions for Dr. Clement, please put it in the chat box, because I've seen a lot of comments. People are, someone said it's so insightful. I love it. Thank you so much for dropping this. Is quite insightful. And I want to say a very big thank you to Sir for being quite vulnerable and for sharing, because these are things that you learned on the job. Nobody foresaw COVID, and we don't even know what will happen tomorrow. But you mentioned certain things that you didn't have a particular, legal back that covers you from paying back XYZ amount of money, even though you didn't make You didn't even make. Okay. Oh my God. And customers, some customers were not empathic enough. They know that this is already a bad, is a bad debt, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't care. They just want their money back. I know you still have a lot to say, and that is why people should not miss. They should not miss the Inspiring Change Conference for anything. Oh my God, don't miss it. See, for those of you that will be joining us physically on Saturday at the Wisdom Arena, come ready, come ready. There will be so many things that will be said that will help you, and then you can ask questions, real-time questions. I know somebody on this call is thinking, should I attend, should I not attend? You must attend, because we don't even have enough time to talk about everything, but you can ask questions at the Inspiring Change Conference this Saturday by 9 a.m. Thank you so much, Dr. Clement. Oh my God, I don't even know. I don't even want us to close tonight, but then we also have to go. As we are wrapping up tonight's conversation, I just want to sincerely thank you, sir. Thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing such powerful insights with us. Thank you so much, because this has really been very enlightening. Let me say to everybody that is watching, I hope you can still hear me. I hope you can you're still connected. This is only a small taste of what is coming on Saturday. So if you've ever felt like you need clarity, you need answer, you need people who have the real experience of what you are going through, I think you shouldn't. I want to say you shouldn't miss the 13th edition of the Inspiring Change Conference. Thank you so much, Dr. Clement. I'm going to allow you go, because I see that you also have a call. God bless you richly. What do we say to Dr. Clement, everyone? Oh my God, the feedbacks are amazing. Powerful insights. Thank you, sir. Honestly, so insightful. Thank you so much, sir. Somebody said this is inspiring. Another person says, what an eye-opening session. Thank you so much. This person says, thank you, sir. I am learning as a business owner. In all fairness, everybody says get capital, but Dr. Clement says beware of the capital that will kill your business. And that's what I'm going to be wrapping up with tonight. Beware of the capital that will kill your business. Don't go anywhere. Ensure that you register to attend the 13th Inspiring Change Conference that is happening this Saturday, March 7, 2026 by 9 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. Listen to this jingle.
Hello everyone, we are officially counting down to the 13th edition of the annual Inspiring Change Conference. It is happening on Saturday, March 7th, 2026 by 9 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. Hello everyone, we are officially counting down to the 13th edition of the annual Inspiring Change Conference. It is happening on Saturday, March 7th, 2026 by 9 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. Come ready to rebuild, come ready to rise. We have speakers like Dr. Clement OLADIPUPO, we have Mrs. Olujumoke Showale, Pastor David Adeoye, myself, Mojisola Ijaola, and of course Chef T, Diary of a Kitchen Mother. You don't want to miss it for anything. There's so much lined up for you to be blessed, for you to come and rise, come and rebuild, and come and be all that God has destined you to be. One of the key things that I'm looking forward to is having you right here in the room at the Wisdom Arena. So don't miss it for anything. It is absolutely free. Refreshments will be served, but you need to register. Please visit our website, www.inspiringchangeng.org, and come with a +2, come with a +3, come with all your goal-getting friends, because I cannot wait to receive you. God bless you.